Hey guys, TKC here, TheKaijudoChannel, and I'm here to talk about DragonStrike Infernus. So if you haven't heard about DragonStrike Infernus, it is going to be the 6th edition of Kaijudo, or officially the 3rd pack after Evo Fury and Rise of the Duel Masters. And the Kaijudo website and a lot of other places have been talking about cards that are going to be coming out of DragonStrike Infernus. So as of now, we only know of 7 of the 60 cards, and plus we know a lot of other cards that are going to be coming out in a bunch of other things, like the Dragon Master Collection Kit, but I'm going to be talking about those in another video. Right now I want to just catch up on the DragonStrike Infernus previews. So we're going to start off with the first card that was previewed, and that card is Herald of Infernus. Is a level 5 5000 armored dragon with the ability Warcry. Whenever this creature wins a battle, you may put a non-evolution dragon from your hand into the battle zone. So this card is kind of like the hyperspeed dragon of this set alone. It has the same stats, and it has an ability that really supports dragons quite well. Now, this one's a very interesting ability. I mean, first of all, you have to win a battle to get any kind of dragon from your hand to the battle zone. So, it's kind of difficult to get this effect to work, but there are ways to get this to work a little bit easier. Of course, if you combine this with light, you can tap stuff, and that's probably the obvious way to get this going. But also, you could use a really awesome card from the Dojo edition, Chainlash Tatsurion. Now, this is level 6, which is 1 level higher than this one, so you could easily play it the next turn. And Chainlash makes one of those creatures vulnerable to your creature attacks, even if it's untapped. So, if you play Chainlash Tatsurion right after this card, you could easily just go in with this Herald of Infernus card and easily win a battle and then get this really big dragon onto the field. Now, whatever dragon you want, it is up to you. And so, DragonStrike Infernus pretty much has all these kinds of dragons and dragon support that you want, and we already know that because of the next 6 cards I'm going to be talking about. They're a part of 2 cycles in this set. A cycle is basically when you have a lot of cards with a similar kind of category in one set, or maybe even like a block or something like that. So in this set there are 2 cycles. The first cycle being all the super rares are going to be really big, powerful dragons of their respective civilization. So right now we know of the Earthstrike Dragon, Armored Dragon, Celestial Dragon, and we even know about Terror Dragon because of the Dragon Master Collection Kit, but we still don't know about the Water Dragon yet. But in these previews right now, we already know about the Fire, the Light, and the Nature super rare dragons. I'm going to be talking about those, along with the second cycle, which is a cycle of Firebirds. Yes, that's right, Firebirds. So you would think that Firebirds would only be in the Fire Civilization, but Duel Masters and Kaijudo pretty much proves that wrong, because those Firebirds could be in any civilization they want. So there's going to be a Firebird for every civilization to support the dragons. So I'm going to be talking about Fire first. I'm going to be talking about the Fire Dragon, and then the Firebird, and then just go on with Nature and then Light. For the Fire Super Rare Dragon is pretty much the cover card of this set, and that is Infernus himself, Infernus, the Awakened. So, this is a really big armored dragon right here, level 9, 13,000 power. It has Triple Breaker and 2 other abilities. It has Inferno Rockets. When this creature enters the battle zone and whenever it attacks, banish target enemy creature that has power 4,000 or less. And to add on top of that, Infernus' Decree, your opponent can't summon creatures that have power 4,000 or less either. So, this card is a combination of a lot of things, and it is an improvement over past cards. This is kind of like an improvement to Morna the Vengeful, I guess, is the first one that comes to mind. Morna the Vengeful was a level 9, 8,000 power double breaker that banished 2 4,000 or less, and that's it. Now, this one pretty much does that and more. First of all, it breaks 1 more shield. Second of all, it has like 5,000 more power than it, and you could potentially banish more than, just 2 4,000 or less. You could even banish more because every time you attack with this. And even on top of that, your opponent can't even summon any more 4,000 or less creatures once you get this guy on the board. So don't even think about playing Rusalka to bounce this guy back to your hand. That's not happening. They can't even play cards like that anymore. This card is great. I could easily see it being played in some sort of control deck that uses fire. I mean, this is... I don't want to say it's better than Tatsurion the Unchained, because I think Tatsurion the Unchained is pretty amazing himself. But Infernus the Awakened is, that little extra little kick that the control deck kind of needs. And so, the Firebird that will be accompanying this card is Kanina? Okay, well, Kanina's back. Kanina, not the Igniter, but here we go. We got Kanina, level 4, 2000 power Firebird, and it has the ability Dragon Song. You tap one less mana card to summon dragons. Awesome stuff. And Infernus' Envoy. All your dragons have powerful attack plus 2000. So let me just talk about this cycle real quick. All these Firebirds from all the different civilizations are going to have this Dragon Song ability. So, you tap one less mana card to summon dragons. Every single one will probably have this effect. There's probably no doubt in my mind it's going to happen. And I just need to point this out real quick. These abilities stack. So if you have more than one Firebird out on the field with the Dragon Song ability, that stacks on top of each other. So if you have 3 on the field, your Hyperspeed Dragon only costs 2. So I just wanted to get out there because it could be a lot of confusion as to whether they stack or not. But in the original game, they had a card called Coco Lupia that did something very similar in that your dragons cost 2 less. And if you had more than one on the field, they would both drop it down by 4 or less. And I'm pretty sure the ruling is going to be the same thing in this game, but you never know. I'm not really sure. But yeah, then it also has Infernus' Envoy. All your dragons have powerful attack plus 2000. It's a pretty nice ability, and just like Dragon Song, you know, all the Firebirds will have some sort of ability that supports dragons in some sort of way. So this one increases power, and the other ones are going to do something different. But I'm going to get to those later. So next, we're going to go into the Nature Civilization cards, starting with the Super Rare Dragon, and that is Cool, the God of the Hordes. So we got a level 9, 12,000 power, triple breaker once again. This is DragonStrike Dragon, of course, has the ability Ancient Call. Whenever a card is put into your mana zone, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a non-evolution creature, put it into the battle zone. Otherwise, put it on the bottom of your deck. So this is pretty awesome. You know, it's kind of similar to Herald of Infernus in that you can summon dragons out of nowhere, and it's quite reusable, you know, like every time you put a card in mana, you get to have the chance of getting another creature on the board. If you somehow get this card out early, you know, with cards like Herald of Infernus, bring it out like turn 6 or something like that, you can easily abuse this card to be summoning a bunch of creatures on your field at once. Now, I don't want to go as far as to say that this makes Mana Bind playable. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, who's to say that you're going to have this card out on the field all the time, you know? If you're going to draw a Mana Bind and not have that on the field, you're going to be like, what the heck do I do with this Mana Bind? So, I mean, like, you know, the regular ramp cards like Sprout and Reap and Sow are definitely going to be really usable in this kind of deck. Even Bronze Arb Tribe is going to be a little bit more playable. So, I mean, in that sense, I think it's a pretty awesome card. Yeah, I like late game. Let's say if you have this Kurgar of the Hordes guy, and you're like top deck, and you top deck into Reap and Sow, you're like asking for awesome stuff to happen. I mean, you go ahead and you play the Reap and Sow, tap 4, look at the top 2, and you say, okay, I don't want this card, put it in mana, and the other card in your hand is like an awesome card like another dragon, for instance. Let's just say Chain Lash or something. Then you use his ability and you get something else, or maybe like a Hyperspeed. Let's go with Hyperspeed. Let's say you draw Hyperspeed. This is like a ridiculous situation, but let's just go with it. Hyperspeed Dragon, and then you use Kurgar's ability, and then you summon, I don't know, like the Infernus guy from earlier. And then you play Hyperspeed Dragon with the remaining mana, and then all those could attack and you win. I don't know about winning, you know, they could have blockers, so, you know, that kind of will, you know, kind of defeat this plan. However, the Nature Firebird will help you solve that problem, because the Nature Firebird is Belua. It has the same stats as Kanina, level 4, 2000 Firebird, has Dragon Song, of course, and it has Kurgar's Envoy. Each of your dragons can't be blocked by creatures that have less power than it. What are you going to do with your blockers now? I have a field of dragons, they have a ton of power, and you can't get through them because I have Belua on the field, and that's how you win the game. Now, of course, this is all very, very situational, but still, Belua is pretty dang awesome. Considering all these dragons have so much power, they can pretty much get through every blocker. You know, the biggest blocker that I could think of off the top of my head is, you know, Granger. Or if you make, you know, a very dedicated Ravu the Stormbringer deck, I guess. I mean, you're going to make all your creatures a blocker. That'd be kind of ridiculous. But, you know, Belua gets over, you know, the main blockers. The most popular blockers right now are the level 1 ones, like Cyber Sprite and Chasm Entangler, because they're cheap bait for your evolutions. There's also Squeaky, there's also Star Lantern, there's, you know, there's a lot of different kind of blockers out there. And, you know, the main blockers that are being used right now, all your dragons will get over them for sure. But anyways, there's Belua. Belua is really awesome. It's a nice finisher kind of card. It's really cool. So now we're going to go into my favorite 2 cards of the set so far. These are the light cards. So we got the Light Dragon and the Light Bird. So we're going to start with the Light Dragon. Andromeda of the Citadel. So this one is level 9, 11,500 power Celestial Dragon, so this one could go along with Orion, haha, awesome stuff. This one's unfortunately only a double breaker, but that's okay because the next two abilities are wicked awesome. We got Fortress of Light. When this creature enters the battle zone, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your shield zone face down as new shields. What? Strike. When a creature attacks you, your opponent chooses one of his or her untapped creatures in the battle zone. Tap that creature. Oh, yeah! Okay, this is easily my favorite card in the set so far. I may be a little bit biased to Light because of my Starlight Strategist preview card thing, but I don't care. I've been loving Light ever since Starlight Strategist came out, and this card just kind of, I don't want to say pushes over the top, but it's just, it's so awesome. Shield Regeneration cards. We've been, wanting a bit more because there hasn't been too many cards that really kind of, help that kind of cause. I was talking about Dorado Golden Dragon in a previous video, in the Organized Play video, and that card needs you to have 5 shields or more, or else it won't be a really powerful triple breaker for only 6 mana. So, this card is just like the perfect complement to that card. I mean, bam, 2 shields out of nowhere. Of course, if you don't have any shields left and you play this, it probably won't make a difference because there's a lot of dragons and a lot of other cards that have double breaker, and it just will kind of just ruin your day. But Andromeda is just awesome. I mean, it's also like a Star Lantern as well if you think about it, but it's like a repeatable Star Lantern. It's not just when you block with Star Lantern, it's when your opponent attacks. So it's just like a reusable Star Lantern effect, plus 2 shields, plus double breaker, plus all that power, plus, oh my god, this card's so good! So I can easily see this fitting well in a light nature deck and add whatever civilization else to that mix. Because you kind of need nature to ramp up to this card. You kind of want to get this card out early so that you don't lose before, you get to play this. Ramp is going to be pretty important. I could easily see nature as a very important civilization once this set comes out. Because, all these big dragons, everyone's going to want to get these dragons out. And to do that quickly, they need cards like Sprout, Reap and Sow, Bronze Arm Tribe, and stuff like that to kind of bring you up to this mana that you need to play all these dragons. I mean, I personally could really see this in a control deck that uses Light. I think it would be awesome. It'd be nice to kind of stabilize with your opponent. Your opponent's kind of rushing you down, get rid of your shields, and you just kind of bring this out, bring out Cobalt, things like that. And you just kind of balance the game all of a sudden. All of a sudden, it's in your favor. Bam, you're getting shields left and right. You're getting Starspark Blast in your shields. And it's wow. This card is literally the ultimate defense card you need in a light control deck. Or even any deck that uses this card. It's just so awesome. I love it. Okay, enough going crazy over that card. Let's just kind of calm down and let's go on to the next card. We got Lux. This is the Light Firebird. And what? Really? Oh my god! I can't calm down anymore. Level 2, 1,500 power Firebird, also has Dragon Song and Andromeda's Envoy. If one of your dragons would be banished, you may banish this creature instead. Whoa! So, first of all, this is the cheapest Firebird, and you know what that means? That means dragons are going to be a lot more easier to be played with this card compared to the other one. It's kind of like a pseudo Sprout in a way. It's level 2. It's only level 2. And that bonus of that other effect is a lot better than you think. Saving one of your dragons. I mean, there's all the complaints all these dragons are so powerful and they're so expensive, but if they're so expensive, they'll just die to Terror Pit and Hydra Medusa, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah? Well, you got Lux to stop all those stupid blah, blah, blah removal cards, because you could just kind of banish this card instead, and then you still have your big dragon on the field. I personally really love the 2 light cards so far. I think they're just awesome, and I think the other cards are awesome as well. And I really think that these 2 cards are just kind of balancing Light a bit more, because Light has always been the underplayed civilization, or the one that just doesn't match up as well as the other civilizations. And so just these 2 cards kind of balance it up a bit, kind of give it the boost it needs. I'm really looking forward to playing Andromeda. I think that's my favorite card of this whole set so far, and it's only 7 cards in the set revealed. But yeah, as far as the level 9 dragons go, I think Infernus is probably the best one right now. He's probably the best. If I had to put opinions aside, or put my personal favorite aside, I think Infernus has the win here. But I think Andromeda is pretty dang good. I'm definitely gonna try that like first day. I mean, like I'm gonna get 3 of those like pronto. I really want those Andromeda cards. So that is all for this video. I just kind of to catch up on the DragonStrike Infernus previews because there's a lot, and I'm sure there's gonna be more to come. So if you followed my Evil Fury preview videos from way back, I mean, there were previews just left and right from all these different sources, all these different places. It's just like, bam, preview. All right, I'm going to talk about this preview card. What the heck? It just came out while I was recording this video. Why? Now I got to talk about this one in another video, and so on and so forth. That's it for the DragonStrike Infernus cards, but of course there are other cards that have been shown or whatever in the past. So I'm going to be catching up on all those news, including the ones that were going on during my break. I mean, there was tons of stuff shown while I wasn't making videos. So I'm going to try my best to catch up on those sometime later in the week. You know, I just got to catch up all these previews, and I finally did. So that's one thing out of the way. And I'm going to slowly but surely, I'm going to catch up to everything I missed. So that's it. This is TKC signing off with all these awesome previews. Really hope you enjoy them because I sure did. And have a nice day, guys. See you later.